an amazingly beautiful day, and it was fitting that the sun should shine brightly on these two men. It's exactly what you deserve. We'll probably do this, but I would like to thank Fanula for an absolutely beautiful ceremony. Derek says we've known each other for about 15 years, huh?
97.
Yeah. God, I thought it was about 12. That's 3 years between friends. But from the time he came to work in the arts office in Dublin City Council, we've known each other, and what was obvious from the start was that he was a very bright young man, very fast learner, great judge of character, the possessor of razor-sharp wit, and a boundless sense of fun. I became aware that Derek had come from a very loving home, and he was doted upon by Maura, who he was. And again, there's probably not many of you lads here who had your own dressing room and had all your clothes laid out for you, even your jeans, you know, sort of ironed and left on the bed and all that. But Maura did all those things, and I know he deserved it, and he did appreciate it. But she provided him with every possible creature comfort, and even phoned in when he was sick. There was a limit of occasion. Those sick days very often happened on Fridays. Somebody told me was in the good old days when the weekend started on Thursday. So anyway, we got through that. But speaking of Maura, of course, I had the great pleasure of knowing his dad, Ted, who was equally caring, was a very intelligent man who had a healthy scepticism towards the world. He knew what was what. He knew what was a sham, and he knew what was true, and he called things like they were. And Derek has acquired some of those traits as well, because he's a great man to, as I said, see through situations and people. But I had the great pleasure of meeting Ted and Maura on many occasions, and was made very welcome in their home. And indeed, it's, on a day like this, it's very sad that Ted isn't with us. But in some way, I feel I've been invited to speak and to have a part in today's very moving ceremony earlier, that I'm in some sort of small way, slightly half filling the shoes, I suppose in a way sort of in loco parentis, and it's a great honour if that is the case, or to even think that might be the case. And as well as the sick days, very early on I got to know Derek's friend Brian, who came very regularly to the arts office to collect his friend. And I have huge regard for Brian and great affection. He's like Derek again. It's obvious that Brian was as I often say, a well-brought-up young man, you know, who obviously came from a great home, and you couldn't ask for a better friend and a great guy to meet. And I suppose here I would like to salute Brian's parents and Maura, I suppose for coming this road with the two lads, because look, last night on television I heard somebody refer to somebody who wanted to get married, some gay chap, and his family wouldn't even say hello to him, they wouldn't even talk to him. So, you know, I mean, I know things have moved on and it's great, but it's not something that probably 20 years ago people would have thought, yeah, this is the way things are going to go. And I think, you know, we really should salute people who have so embraced the new situation and acknowledge this great love that these two guys have for each other. So, well done. Derek and Brian are wonderfully different and wonderfully complementary. They have many different interests, different talents, different sense of humour, different food preferences, different music preferences, mostly. But what they have in common, what makes them an ideal couple, is their shared traits. Their good nature, their kindness to and concern for others, their loyalty to friends, their generosity, their sense of fun, their love of travel, love of nature, love of fine dining, and the opera, of course. But most of all, it's the strong, most of all, their strong love for and loyalty to each other. I think that's really what marks them out. They're both very successful, high achievers, both pursuing different interests and goals, but each supporting the other in his efforts. And this is why I think they are ideally suited. Last page. Knowing Derek over many years has been a hugely positive experience for me. I've learned a lot from him, even though he's a lot younger than I am, but he's also very wise in many, many ways. And I hope somewhere along the way that he may have learned a little from me. I've seen how quickly he can assess situations and people, and almost always reach the correct conclusions, except about what I was going to say today. But I witnessed how he, as I said before, he could know almost what I was thinking about. It was a pleasure seeing his growing interest in and knowledge of the visual arts, and to witness his assembly of a fine art collection. I marvelled at the way he very quickly developed his critical faculties in regard to theatre. Probably hadn't gone to a lot of theatre until he started work in the arts office, but very, very quickly knew what was good and what was bad, and had no, not reluctant to say it afterwards. But I also, the other thing which I suppose I really did greatly admire, and probably, if I'm honest, probably envied in some way, was his capacity to live life to the full and to bring fun and humour wherever he went. You know, even listening to him earlier, it's clear he continues to do that. But most of all for me, it's been a privilege and a joy to have become a friend of Derek and Brian, and for the friendship to survive and thrive over the years. They're an exceptional couple, two great guys, two absolute gentlemen, and two great friends. I want to thank you both for that friendship and for allowing me to be part of what I know will be a day you will remember and I will remember for the rest of our lives. You're very special. I want to congratulate you on making this commitment to each other and wish you every happiness in the future.